So a few months ago, I was picking up a fare and taking them back to Blackwood. I'm not going to give the exact location, but this guy, he was really, really drunk. I picked him up from a pub. These two guys carried him out, and I thought, oh my God, he's really drunk. And at the time, I've never had to deal with somebody this drunk before. Now, I mean, he couldn't even carry himself. He couldn't speak. He couldn't do anything. So I'm picking this guy up. Two mates are carrying him. One of them opens the passenger's front door. The other one opens the back. So they both put him in, and the guy says, oh, can I pay for this now? My phone's going to run out. So I thought, yeah, fair enough. I mean, most people pay contactless, don't they, or Apple Pay or whatever with their phone. So, I mean, because the company I work for take card machines, they got card machines, they take card. It was easy enough. So this guy gets in the back. He's laying down. He's asleep. And next thing I know, the two guys that are with him, front one at the front shuts the front door, and the other one shuts the other door, and then they just scarper back to the pub. And I'm just sat there thinking, right, what do I do now? I thought, right, well, I'll take him home. Maybe he'll perk up by the time I get there. Yeah, I was wrong. So, taking this guy home, and I pull outside his flat, open the back door, try and wake him up. I'm like, come on, we'll call him Keith. So I was like, Keith, come on, we're here now, you know, wake up. And he's like, they're going, oh, he's saying some choice words, very choice words, not very kind, not very nice. So basically he's saying, get lost, leave me alone. I'm like, well, I can't leave you alone, you're in my taxi, like, you know. So I'm stiff for a bit, and I'm like just calling him, giving him a gentle tap, saying, you know, come on, you need to come out. And he's just laying there saying, oh, I'm sleeping, leave me alone. I'm like, no, I can't leave you alone, you're in my taxi. And he said, you need to get out. So with that then, one of his flatmates comes out for a cigarette, and I'm talking to him, and he's like, oh, is everything all right? I said, no. I said, Keith's in the back. I said, I can't wake him up. She comes over, and he's calling him. He says, oh, Keith, come on. I don't know why you get in this state for. And he's like, oh, where was he drinking? And I told him, and he was like, oh, he's a nightmare, he is. So he's there trying to help me. He's like trying to pick him up. Nothing. So then he goes, look, you know, I would help you. This guy only had one arm. So he said, I would help you, but it's a bit difficult for me. I've only got one arm. And I was like, oh, that's fair enough. And then I rang the office. I said, look, this guy I've just picked up, Keith, he's in the back of the taxi, fast asleep. He won't get up. He won't get out. And at first, dispatch laughed because she said, oh, you shouldn't have picked him up. I was like, well, you know, I've only just started doing this. I said, I haven't got a clue. I said, I thought the two guys that were with him were going to come with him. Then they shut the door and ran off into the pub. So I said, leave it with me, I'll send somebody down. So somebody else came down. And at this time, I didn't know that you couldn't pick people up and do anything till this guy turned up. So another taxi driver turns up, and he's there. He's like, oh, you can't touch him. I said, what do you mean? He said, you can like try and wake him up by giving him a little nudge, but you can't physically handle them. You can't pick them up. You can't drag them out your taxi. And I was like, seriously? And she was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you can't. I was like, oh, right, okay. I said, yeah, I suppose it makes sense, because I might do something while they're intoxicated or something. They wake up in the morning and I'll get blamed for assault or something. He said, yeah, exactly. I was like, right, okay. So what do? He said, you're just going to have to wait it out. With that, then, there was somebody in another flat. She saw what was going on. She came down. She was asking if everything was all right. And I said, no, Keith's in the back of my taxi. He's absolutely blotto. I said, and he won't wake up. So she comes over and she's like calling him, telling him to get up, and he's swearing at her as well. And she said, he's like this all the time, man. It's ridiculous. She goes, I don't know how he manages to hold down a full-time job. And I was like, oh, never. With that, then, she manages to get him to sit up. She pulled him up. This woman, like this, I'm 5'10". The guy she's picked up, he must be about 5'10" and about 27 stone. He was a big boy. Now I'm 24 stone, but yeah. So she managed to get him up, and she manages to get him to turn his legs around and get out. He's still swearing at her. He's declaring his undying love to her, or everything. So then he finally manages to get out, and she's like, "Oh, can you help me carry him over there?" And I said, the other taxi driver was there. He said, "Well, we're not allowed to help. We're not allowed to physically handle him." She's like, really? I was like, yeah. She goes, well, thanks for nothing then. And I'm like, look, I'm really sorry. Guy gets out, the woman pays for him, so she obviously gets the money back. And with that then, he's walking just about towards his flat. He lives upstairs as well, so it's even harder. So he's there and he's muffling it, he's swearing and mumbling, and then it gets to the point where he has to go through the gate, and all of a sudden I just saw him lose his footing and he just fell. And she's like, come on, you're gonna have to get up, otherwise you're gonna have to stay. She goes, I can't pick you up. And I felt terrible because obviously I can't help her. As much as I wanted to, I couldn't help her. So I just had to go. So the day after, he rang the office and he was apologising, and it's just ridiculous. And then not so long ago, one of the other taxi drivers, I had to pick somebody else up, exactly the same situation. Parked up outside, it was in a minibus this time. And these two people come up from the side of this house and they're looking over, and all of a sudden, and they're carrying this guy out, and he's coming out, and I was, oh my God, like he was just as bad. So I'm over there waiting for this guy, and all of a sudden they started bringing him over. I opened the window, I said, no, he's too drunk, I can't do it. So I drove off. They're ringing the office, I'm having to go at the dispatch. And she said, no, they're too drunk, we can't take them. Well, with that then, the woman on dispatch, she just, the guy spoke to the one in dispatch, she said, oh, yeah, he's got a problem with his knees, he's got weak knees, so sometimes we have to carry him out. And I was like, no, it's not. He's drunk. He's absolutely steaming drunk. So they got this other guy to take him, because the dispatch, they kept keeping on and on and on. Well, they took him home and he fell asleep in the back of the taxi, and he was there for an hour trying to get this person out the back of his taxi. It's just mental how people think that you can just chuck someone absolutely leathered in the back of a taxi and they'll get up and it'll be fine. Honestly, it is absolutely nuts. But anyway, I'm going to start doing this new series of like funny stories that I've picked up in taxis, and start posting that to the channel along with other videos like my delivery videos and whatnot. And it's a pretty quiet day today. I've had rubbish paying fares, literally going like 20 minutes away, 10 miles for like £3. It's not really worth it. So hope you like these videos, guys. Please give me a like and a subscribe, and I shall catch you on the next one.